Welcome and welcome back. If you are new here, I'm glad you're tuning in. If you've been here before, I'm so glad that you're back. Today, I'm talking about the messy middle, and I am in it right now. So I'm excited to talk about it and to just share about like what's been helpful for me in this messy space of figuring things out, putting in new structures, building a new thing for myself, and also just navigating the whole uncertainty of that space. Particularly for those in their 40s, this might resonate and might be helpful because I'm in my 40s, I'm 44. And so I'm excited to talk about the messy middle. And just to recap very quickly, in June of 2024, I took a sabbatical and did some traveling around Europe for about 4 months and had a fantastic time. I came back to the States and I had some, I had like unexpected things happen, like my dog of like 15, 16 years passed away. And I chose to extend my sabbatical and really just take some time to figure out what my next steps would be and really what I wanted to do career wise. That was really a big focus of really digging deeper and uncovering that. And during that time, actually February of 2025, I started my own marketing business and started to take on clients that I provide marketing services for and fractional marketing. So yeah, I've been pretty deep in the messy middle. So I'm here to share about what's been helpful for me as I've been in that space of uncertainty and how I've been navigating it. So I guess we could start by saying, what is the messy middle? The messy middle is it's that space where what has been is gone, but what is going to be, or what you're trying to become, or what you're creating has not quite take form yet. You're in that middle space of really building. You're also in that middle space of like figuring things out and restructuring your foundation a little bit or a lot in your life. And so I call it the messy middle, and it's known as the messy middle because a lot of things are just not certain yet, and they're not shored up, and they don't have much structure and form to it yet, like your former life did, right? And I think going through the messy middles in your 40s is like worth highlighting because I know so many friends and people that I know personally are in this messy middle space of really just restructuring their life and just doing something different with their life. And so they're in the middle part of building that out and creating it. So let's get into it. One, you're not crazy. You're not crazy. You're not crazy. It is very lonely in the messy middle. I don't know if it's spoken of much, but I will totally affirm if you feel alone in this space and in this moment in your life, it is extremely valid and you're not alone. Many other people that are in this messy middle space of becoming and creating and restructuring their life, it is lonely. It is lonely. It's lonely physically, mentally, emotionally, and relationally. It's just a part of it. It comes with the territory of taking some time to like reshuffle your life. It is a very lonely space. Physically you may be in between like housing or figuring out your housing or where you want to live and where you want to put down roots next. That's definitely for me because I just kind of came through this whole tragic flooding in my building that immediately displaced me, and I've been trying to figure that out. So you may be feeling lonely physically because you haven't put down new roots yet. You may be feeling lonely emotionally and relationally because maybe the people around you are not necessarily changing as well as at the rate or at the time that you're changing. So you may feel alone in the fact that, oh my God, like I just want to change so many things and I am changing so many things. So in just doing that and being in that space, you may be around people who are not in that space and they're still okay with the structures and the structures and the rhythm of their life, right? They're still okay with that. And that's totally fine. totally fine, but you're changing your life. And so when there may be a little bit of a distance there when you're at one stage and maybe the people around you are at another stage. Yeah, it's lonely. And I think it's lonely by design. I really do feel like, God does seclude you a bit so that he can get your attention and really give you the downloads that you need to create this new era or season or time of your life, or whatever you're trying to get through the middle part of and to the end result that you're working towards. I do think in the seclusion is where you get like those downloads and those ahas from God about like, okay, this is what's next. This is where you should be, and this is what you want. This is what you should be doing. This is what's really the natural next step for you. And it's also where you just also reconnect with yourself to understand what it is that you want, separate from maybe what external factors may be influencing you to want. So there's also that piece of it. But you're not crazy. It is lonely. So I don't have all the answers, but I do want to share what's been working for me and what's been helpful for me as I've been in this messy middle. And I hope it's helpful. I hope you can take away something that you can add to your arsenal for helping you cope and get through this messy part of any type of transition or reinvention that you yourself are going through. So, the first thing for me has been I lean into my faith. You hear me? Like the old school church sisters would say, I am holding on to the unchanging hand of the Lord. That is what I'm doing. Like that, I am leaning into my faith hard because the messy middle, it just lacks a lot of absolutes, and many pieces are still tangled and still being figured out. Like leaning into my faith has been like the anchor that has really held me in like not getting totally just engulfed in like anxiety and worry about like the way forward for myself. So I lean into my faith, and something that I do is I have a note tab on my phone that I title God's hand, and every single time something happens that affirms like my new path or something that I'm doing in this whole reinvention space of myself. And, anything that happens in that space that affirms me or just feels like God just did a little miracle just for me, I put that there, and it's very long and extensive. And I love that because anytime I need to just be reminded of God coming through for me, I just go to my God's Notes tab and I can read a few or just read one of the times that I documented. But either way, I just document it there, and it serves as such a good reminder for me, and of God affirming like this new path that I'm taking. And for me, it's been particularly helpful because I started a new business last year, and I mean, the things that God has done for me, like people recommending me that I don't even remember, mentioning to them that I started a new business, or just returning clients coming back for different things. And every time something like this happens, like I don't ever take it for granted. And I just know that it's like God's hand just kind of like saying, yes, keep going, keep going, keep going. So that might be helpful too for you to record every single time God has done something for you as it pertains to this new path you're on. So hopefully that's helpful. And similar in the same vein is I've also been leaning into my circle of close friends that have been really able to hold space for me as I'm kind of in this becoming space of reinvention and starting my own business and all of that. So I've had really, really great close friends that I can just share all of my anxiety and my worries. I can share my successes, and they just have the capacity to hold that for me, and to also affirm me and remind me that like, hey, this is all going to be okay. And they constantly check in on me and that sort of thing. So having like a circle of friends that have the capacity for you when you're in this space is really important, because when you're in the messy middle, it's like a different version of you. You know, if your friends are always accustomed to you like having it all figured out and like everything's buttoned up, but when you're in the messy middle, it's like you're starting to put the buttons back on the shirt. And so you might be a little frazzled, you might be more anxious than normal, or a little bit more worrisome. And so you want friends and people that have the capacity to let you have that space to be in that element and be anxious, but then also be able to affirm you and remind you that like this is all going to work out, you know? And so shout out to my friends who do that for me. Like I really, really appreciate you ladies. Okay, the next thing is, another thing I do is that helps me. So I have these like aha moments. It's like a burst of clarity. And that's the only way I know how to describe it. It's like these bursts of clarity where it's like I just have this knowing of like a version of me speaking back to me from the future. It's weird to explain, but now I'm talking it out loud. It sounds weird, but it's like a version of me that I'm working towards talking back to me. But I have these like aha moments where I feel very much like I'm fully assured, like I feel it in me that like these things that I'm trying to work towards, build my business, all the things I'm trying to do, right? It's like I'm on the other side and I've already done it. And again, they're just like sparks that kind of come. Like these moments of sparks of like, yeah, you're here now, right? And so what I would do is I would record on my phone when I'm in that moment. I record to myself as that person. So I'm let me tell you, I have several recordings like this on my phone. And I'm like just talking to myself like, oh my God, girl, when I tell you it worked out, it worked out. This is where you live. This is the life you have. Like you really did it. Like you really did it. It's just, so and again, I record them like when I have like that, it's like a lightning bolt moment of like assurance. And it's like, oh my God, I did it. And when I have those moments, like I record it and I play it back to myself when I start having like deep worry and anxiety about being in the messy middle and not having things figured out and not being sure if it's going to work out. So if you ever, I don't care where you are, if you ever have these moments, like take out the recorder, use the recorder on your phone and speak to yourself from that from that place, because I almost feel like God is downloading to you, like you in that time and space of what you're trying to get to. But anyhow, I hope I'm making sense. But either way, I use that record feature on my phone, and I cannot tell you how much times it's like, one, moved me to tears, two, just was like the inspiration I needed to just keep going. So consider that for yourself as well. Ooh, what was the other thing? Oh, I stay active. I fuel my body with really good food. And that also helps me with not like crashing out. That helps me majorly. One of the big things that I do is when I start to have a little bit too much anxiety around being in the messy part of life, not having it figured out. Like when I get in that space, I go take a walk. I get some fresh air, and I just think the activity and the action of moving my body, I feel like it's almost like moving the anxiety and the stress like around through my body and out. That's how I feel. So the other thing, this is big. I just stopped judging myself for not having all the answers. And I swear I think this is like, I wouldn't, revolutionary might be overkill, but this is a remarkable perspective to have in your 40s, because in your 40s, see, you figured out a lot of stuff already. You've figured out a lot of things about your life and everything. You figured quite a bit out, you know? And so when you are in the messy middle in your 40s, where you're maybe doing a pivot or you're transitioning to a new career or whatever it may be, but you're restarting in a certain area, in a certain part of your life, it may feel a little bit strange to like not have the answers because you've always had the answers, you know. But give yourself the permission to not have it figured out. Give yourself the permission to not have it figured out. Give yourself the permission to be a student of life again, a student in a new area of something that you're doing, right? Just give yourself that permission. Just tell yourself, hey, I give myself the permission to not have this figured out, and I give myself the permission to learn a new thing, learn how I'm going to figure this out, or work my way through this. You don't have to have it all figured out. And the moment I really extended that grace to myself is the moment that like I stopped like tripping too hard about this. I really did. The other thing, that I want to mention is, you know what? It's not your first rodeo. And I say that to myself too. It's not my first rodeo. This is not the first time that you have had to go through any type of transition in your life. If you are in your 40s, this is not your first time. Not your first time. Even though this transition might feel like, oh my God, like, oh, it's a lot. Like, this is a big change or whatever it may be. I want to remind you that this is not your first time and this is not your first rodeo. If you're in your 40s, you've had to change cities, you've had to go to school, go to college, return for an advanced degree. You have possibly uncoupled from somebody that has been your significant other or your spouse. Listen, this is not your first rodeo. You got this. And that was something that that concept and that fact is something that has really been an anchor for me as well. Because I was like, oh, wait a minute. I've taken sabbaticals before. Wait a minute. I have, shifted a little bit in my career before. Wait a minute. I have moved on an idea that lights me up. Wait a minute. I've been through a divorce. I'll be fine. Like, listen, once you have hit your 40s, trust me, you have been through transitions already and you will get through this one. You will get through this one. So these are some of the things that have really helped me mindset wise or actual actions that I've done that help me to like not get like smothered in the messy middle of becoming, and that has really helped to anchor me, and I hope it's helpful for you. And if you have anything that you've been doing that has really kept you anchored while you're in this middle space of figuring things out, I'd love to know. So please put it in the comments and share what's been helpful for you. So thank you for listening. And if you're interested in topics like this, I'm talking about my reinvention in my 40s. And it's a series I'm working through right now. So please do subscribe.